Thank you so much. I want to first thank everyone who's showing up watching us right now, because you're one of the few who do versus the many who talk about things. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you at this event and sharing with you the best knowledge I have to level up your brain so you can do better in business and in life. And I also want to thank all the producers of this event. Few people know the amount of work and effort, time, and processes that go on behind the scene to create an epic gathering of thousands of people together. So this is going to be an event I promise everyone will never ever forget. And so my name is Jim Quick. I will be your brain coach on this special day at Winning Edge. And I'm going to get right into it because I want to give you some really good takeaways on this in this conversation, takeaways to be able to help learn faster, because the faster you can learn, the faster you can earn. And I encourage everybody to take notes. I understand we're going to be going for about 20, 30 minutes. And I have a lot to say to get you really prepared for this epic event. My specialty is helping entrepreneurs. If you follow me on social media, you see pictures of me even today with Barack Obama, Oprah, just posted today. It happens to be his birthday. Working with celebrities like Will Smith, Elon Musk, Richard Branson. I train at Google and Nike and all these big companies. And what I share with them is what I'm going to be sharing with you at this event. I'm going to be sharing with you how to tap the most incredible, the number one wealth creating device you have on planet Earth, which is your brain, right? Nowadays, as an entrepreneur, you're not paid for your brute strength. You're paid for your brain strength. You're not paid for your muscle power. You're paid for your mind power today. Because today, knowledge is not only power, knowledge is profit. Knowledge is not just power, knowledge is profit. And you know that because in today's economy, you could turn ideas and implementation into real income and impact. And I'm excited to come to Africa because some people know this because I post a lot on social media. We build schools through Free the Children, We Day, Pencils of Promise, everywhere from Ghana to Kenya. And I'm very passionate about education. The thing is traditional education doesn't always teach us everything we need to know to succeed in life and in business. And I think the most important topic to master into the 21st century, in today's age, is your ability to learn faster. And I would write this down. The number one skill to master is the ability to learn faster. Because if you go to a magical genie, and a magical genie says they will give you one wish, grant you one wish, what would you wish for? You would wish for multiple wishes, more wishes, right? Well, if I was your learning genie, your teacher genie, and I could teach you one thing, make you really good at one thing, what would the equivalent be to asking for more wishes? The equivalent would be to ask to learn how to learn. Because if you can learn how to learn, you can learn anything faster. And I would also want to talk to our team here, make sure this is being recorded, so you could make sure people could tap into this if they want to rewatch this video or they missed this video. So I saw the recording on there before. I don't see it anymore, but you guys could handle that. But I'm very privileged and honored to be coming to see you. What I'm going to share with you are tips that are very practical for entrepreneurs. Because the thing with entrepreneurs, and you know this, is you have to feed your mind and you have to feed your business until that business feeds you back. Does that make sense? In the beginning, you're grossly underpaid when you're building your business, your dream, your personal brand. But after a while of consistency and persistence, it switches. And then instead of being underpaid, you're overpaid, and you get to live a life that few people can even imagine because you did that work. And I think the most important work to do is to learn how to learn. Because if you could master the skill of learning how to learn, what can you apply that to? You could apply that towards anything. Anything after that gets easier in your life if you can learn how to learn. You can learn marketing, you can learn management, you can learn Mandarin, you can learn martial arts, you can learn music, you can learn anything else easier, and that's my goal. One of my favorite books, obviously I'm an avid reader, I read one book a day. I like to get my students reading at least one book a week, because you can write this down: leaders are readers. Leaders are readers, and you got to feed your mind, right? Because if somebody has decades of experience, like many of the people that are speaking, all the faculty that'll be speaking at Winning Edge, and they put it into a book, and you can sit down in a day or 2 days or 3 days and read that book, or a week and read that book. You could download decades into days. Let me say that again. When you read the book, you could download decades of experience into days. And what you're going to get by coming to Winning Edge is, and this is the value and the reward you get for signing up, as you did, for showing up, is decades of experience in one day. You don't have to spend all the hundreds of thousands of dollars and the years upon years and decades. I've been doing this for 27, 28 years now, and made all the mistakes. You don't have to do all that, because we did it for you. And we're going to teach you the best of what we learn at this event. Specifically for me, though, I am going to focus on two areas, really: helping you to learn faster so you can earn faster, and also improving your brain and your memory. Meaning, I'm going to share with you at that event 10 different ways that you could get the most out of your brain. So you can optimize your brain health and your brain fitness, so that you could have focus, so you could remember things, so you could get things done, so you could have mental energy, so you could get rid of that brain fog. You know what I mean? Like, you ever feel overloaded with too much to learn and too little time? Do you have books on your shelf that you haven't read yet? Yes. And it becomes shelf help and not self-help, right? Do you get too many emails? Do you have so much to learn? It seems like you're drowning in information. And so what I want to show you is how to swim today, to be able to keep up with the tides and the tsunamis of data and information that you need to be an entrepreneur today. The other area of it is not just handling the amount of information, is also having better focus. Because in a world today, a lot of people, they feel so absent-minded. Do you know what I mean? Have you ever read a page in a book, you get to the end, then you forgot what you just read, right? It's embarrassing, and you forget where you put things. You forgot a conversation that you just had with somebody. I believe 2 of the most costly words in business and in life, you know what they are? I forgot. I forgot to do it. I forgot to bring it. I'm sorry, I forgot that meeting. I forgot what you said. I forgot that conversation. I forgot what I was going to say. I forgot your name. In business, I'm going to tell you, number one business etiquette networking skill, and you have some amazing people sharing with you at this event. You know, people like Ken Rakowski, who's the ultimate connector that I know, because it's not just what you know, it's also who you know, and then who knows you. And also, it's amazing. So you have Ken, and you have Sasha, you have Sandy, but you have Shaheen. You have this incredible brain trust that becomes like your faculty or your mind, and that's so important. But I believe when we forget things, especially somebody's name, people, if you're in sales and you have something to sell to somebody, people don't care. Write this down. People do not care how much you know until they know how much you care. People do not care. Listen, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so how are you going to show somebody you're going to care for them, or you're going to care for their family, or you're going to care for their money, or you're going to care for their future or their family, any of this, if you don't care just to remember their name? So at this event, I'm going to share with you some of my favorite tips. Many people know I walk into a room and an audience, and I'll remember people's names, and you could do that too. Because if you could walk into a room and meet 10 or 20 strangers and leave saying goodbye to every single one of them using their name, saying their name, who are they all going to remember? They're all going to remember you. And that's a standout skill. And that's why I think it's so important. So that's what I'm going to focus on at this event. I'm going to share with you secrets on how to learn faster, how to optimize your number one wealth creating tool you have, which is your brain, how to optimize it, because they say we only use a small percentage of its potential. And so I'm going to show you how to light up that other potential. And I'm going to show you how to remember people's names, because you're coming to this event because you're special. Because most people talk about how they want the world to change, their life to change, everything, their situation, to circumstances to change, but not many people do something about it. So I appreciate you coming to this event because it means you are special, and we're going to be around a lot of special people. And you come to events, I think, for one of two reasons. You come for the content, right? And you're going to learn some of the most amazing, practical, high return, high reward tools and techniques at this event that's going to help shift your mind and your money, right? Your brain and your business and your brand, your intellect and your influence and your income and your impact. So you come for the content, but you also come for second C, which are the connections, right? Because it's who you know. And so I'm going to share with you technique at this event on how to remember people's names. So that being said, let me give you a little primer on how to get the most of this event, a little jump start before I'm with you in just a few weeks, which is amazing. I want you to remember there are 4 keys to learning something faster, all right? And I just want you to just write these down if you can, or you could also remember them also. All right, 4 keys to learning a subject or skill faster. And I want you to employ these 4 things when we're together at Winning Edge, okay? And I want you to remember this acronym. I like to use acronyms a lot. And so acronym is a word that are memory trick to help you remember other words. So I want you to remember the word FAST, F-A-S-T, F-A-S-T. The F stands for, if you want to learn something faster, is forget. And so what do I mean by that? And you're like, Jim, you're the world's top memory coach. You train all of these amazing people how to improve their memory. What do you mean forget? Well, what I want you to do when you get to this event, temporarily for that day, forget what you know about business. Forget what you know about self-improvement. Forget what you know about marketing, because you can't temporarily do that. To do that temporarily, because your mind is like a parachute, but it only works when it's open. And sometimes when your glass is full, you can't put something new in. So I want you to temporarily forget about what you know so you can learn something new. So you can learn something brand new and powerful and updated. Because I know what I'm going to teach you is based on the latest brain research on how to be an elite top high performer. How to perform your best, how to get through all the things you need to, how to overcome your fears, how to create brand new habits, right? Because I believe, write this down, first you create your habits, and then your habits create you. First you create your habits, then your habits create you back. You create your habits, and I'm going to share with you what my daily routine is, what I do in the morning and at night to really jumpstart my brain to be able to get maximum out of my day. Because it's not just about working hard. You know this. Yes, we all work hard, but some people could work smarter than others. And going back to that book I was recommending, one of my favorite books is by Dr. Stephen Covey. Dr. Stephen Covey. And he wrote a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. 7 habits of highly effective people. What are the 7 habits that all effective, be successful people do they share? And the last habit, if you haven't read the book, is something called sharpen your saw. Sharpen your saw. that if you have a lot of wood that you need to cut, let's say you have lots of wood you need to cut, and you're out in the sun, and you have to cut this, just wood to get through, and metaphorically, that wood is things you need to do. Those are all the things you need to do in your life, in your work, in your career, in your business. But if that saw has a dull blade, it has a soft, dull blade, then when do you want to sharpen that saw? In the beginning, in the middle, or at the end? You don't want to wait to the end, right? Because that means you're going to struggle. If you wait to the end to sharpen, if you do all that work and to be able to do it with a dull blade, right, so it doesn't cut very properly, then you're going to work 10 times harder, 10 times longer. You're going to suffer, you're going to struggle. But if you sharpen it in the beginning, then you could cut through logs easily, wood easily, right? And so what we're going to do is sharpen your saw. And the best way, in my belief, for you to sharpen your saw is to learn how to learn. Because if you can learn how to learn, everything after that becomes easier. Like having that sharp saw is like having a sharp mind. All right, so we're going to talk about that. But I want you to, when you get there, temporarily forget what you know about business and everything you're about to learn so you can learn something brand new. The other thing I want you to forget when you're there is forget about distractions, meaning your attention is finite and you cannot multitask. All right, a lot of people think you could walk down the street and chew bubble gum and have a conversation with somebody, but you cannot do two brain activities at once, cognitive activities at once. So multitasking is actually a myth. It's a lie. If you think you're doing 2 or 3 things at the same time, you're not. What you are doing, what science is calling it, is task switching. You're switching between tasks, and you think you're doing it at the same time, but you're not. And the problem is, number one, you make more mistakes. And number two, the thing you think you're saving, which is time, you're actually not. You're losing time because it could take anywhere from 5 minutes to 20 minutes just to regain your focus on that new task. Your focus and your flow, what they call, where you're in the zone. So you want to forget about other things that are going on outside that room. And if something comes into your mind about family, about friends, about work, just write it down. But I need you to be completely focused in that room because this is a day for you. This is all about you. This is about your winning edge. And so this is a day well spent, but you got to invest your time. But here's the thing. If you're in that room and part of your mind is thinking about family, part of your mind's thinking about friends, part of your mind's thinking about work, and that only leaves you 25% of your focus in that room, and you're not going to learn very well, all right? And then the third thing I want you to forget, besides what you know about the subjects, temporarily forget about what's going on in the world outside of that room so we could be completely present in one day together. I want you to forget about your limitations. Forget about your limitations, because a lot of people, they come to me and they say, oh, Jim, I have a horrible memory, or, oh, I'm getting too old, or, oh, I'm not smart enough. And I always tell people, stop. If you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. If you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. And so I don't want you to say these negative thoughts, because your brain is like a supercomputer, and your self-talk is the program it will run. So if you tell yourself, oh, I'm not good at remembering names, you will not remember the name of the next person you meet because you program your supercomputer not to. All right? Your mind is always eavesdropping on your self-talk. So I want you to forget about your limitations temporarily, because I'm going to show you that your limits aren't really your limits. All right? And there are no limits when it comes to your mind and the power of your brain. So that's the F, is forget. Forget about what you know. Forget about what's going on outside that room when we're together, and forget about your past failures or your past limits. The A in FAST stands for active. Active. And what I mean when you're in that room is you can't just sit there, because your brain, the human brain, does not learn through consumption. It learns through creation. Let me say that again. The human brain does not learn through consuming information. It learns by creating it and co-creating it and creativity. And so I don't want you just to sit there and just passively think that everyone's on the stage is going to do this to you. you have to be active also, all right? Because you have to do the work, right? Because here's the lie that people say to people. The lie is, you've heard it before, is that knowledge is power, right? We've all heard knowledge is power, but it's a lie. Because the truth is, knowledge is not power. It has the potential to be power. It only becomes power when you use it. And that's the thing, all right? So, meaning all the books and I know a lot of you listen to my podcast, and all the books, podcasts, conferences, coaching, none of it works unless you work, all right? And so knowledge is not power. Knowledge times action equals power. So the A in FAST is active, because learning is not a spectator sport. So I want you to take notes. I want you to ask questions. I want you to be active in this process. So we're going to do it together. It's not just the person on stage that's going to do it. It's going to be all of us together as a community, thousands of us. We're going to uplift everybody and we'll work together to do it. Now that's the A, is active. Be active when you're there. The S is state. State. Now, state, what does it mean? The state means your mood, your feelings. And so here's what I want everyone to remember. Do this with me. Put your hand out like this. Information, say it, information times emotion becomes a long-term memory. Information times emotion becomes a long-term memory. We remember things that touch us emotionally, right? You know that. Right? I remember Maya Angelou, one of my favorite poets, said, people forget what you say to them. They'll forget what you did. They'll always remember how you made them feel. Okay, so you want to make sure it's coming back to feeling is the state. Because if information times emotion becomes a long-term memory, you want to keep your emotions high at that event. Okay, because if you learn in a bored state, you're not going to retain it, because boredom is what most of us learned in school. We were bored. 0 to 10, boredom is 0. Anything times 0 is what? 0. So you won't remember a lot of it. So the feelings are what it's important. And now here's my question for you. Who controls how you feel? Who controls how you feel? You do, right? Based on your thoughts, based on your posture, based on your breathing, put a big smile on your face right now. Just put a big smile on your face. You can make yourself feel better if you wanted to, right? At any time. So you want to maintain high energy, because you don't have energy, you do energy. You don't have motivation, you do motivating things. I want you to do that at this event. Manage your state. Make sure you get a good night's sleep, the night before, so you feel well rested. Make sure you're hydrated, right? Because your brain needs lots of water, all right? Keep high energy, that state. Finally, the T in FAST stands for teach. Teach. What does that mean? I want you to spend this day together with us, and you're going to get the winning edge, the ultimate advantage, where you're going to get your mind, your brand, your body, your business all aligned, so you could go out there and win, right? But here's the thing. You want to learn it faster? You want to implement it faster? Learn it as if you're going to teach somebody next week. So I want you to learn it, take notes, pay attention, as if you were going to teach somebody else this content. Because when you teach something, write this down. When I teach something, I get to learn it twice. When I teach something, I get to learn it twice, because intent matters. And if you go there with the intention of taking notes, thinking about somebody you care about that wish was going to be there, and I recommend, I don't know if it's sold out, this event, but bring your friends. If you want to learn this faster, bring a learning buddy to be there in the room with you, because you're going to enjoy it more, but you're also going to learn it better, because learning is social. It's not just solo, it's social. Together, it's cheesy, it's team, T-E-A-M, team or team. Together, everyone achieves more, achieves miracles, right? But we're going to do it together. So, get your friends to come with you, but those who don't come, learn it as if you're going to teach them, and you'll learn it twice as well. I hope that makes sense for everybody. We're 30 minutes into this top of the hour. My message for you is this: is if you're still watching this and you bought your ticket, you're a special person, and I respect you. And I'm going to give you 100%, and I know the other experts are going to give you 100%. And I just want to remind you, give yourself 100% also, because I believe you believe that what you put in is what you get out. And this event could create a ripple effect in your life, and not just your life, your family's life, your community's life, and even the world, because it's called the butterfly effect. And I like metaphor of butterflies because if you're struggling right now, remember this: at difficult times, they could diminish you, or they could define you, or they could develop you. You decide. You always decide. You always are 100% responsible for your life. Because I believe if you're watching this, you're a thermostat. You're not a thermometer. A thermometer just reacts to the environment, just responds to the environment. That's all it does. But a thermostat sets a temperature, and the environment raises or lowers to meet that thermostat. And so the thermostat sets a goal, a vision as an entrepreneur, and then the world changes because of it. And a butterfly is interesting because while a butterfly, the beauty is in the butterfly, the growth happens in the cocoon. That a caterpillar trying to break out of that cocoon, as it's developing its wings, in order for it to break out, it has to build its strength, and that strength allows it to fly. And wherever you are in your life, whether it's a caterpillar or a butterfly, and we all go through different stages, right? And there's never an ending point there. We're always going through the process, all of us. And hopefully we find some guides and mentors along the way. That makes it easier. But when that butterfly leaves, it's called the butterfly effect. A butterfly flapping its wings in New York or Los Angeles or Johannesburg or anywhere in London and wherever people are from, they flap its wings. It creates a butterfly effect, that ripple effect in the atmosphere where they could create a hurricane on the other side of the world. And at this event, it's like a lot of butterflies coming together to flap our wings together and create a big, big change. And so I'm really looking forward to meeting all of you. Make sure you employ these 4 keys to learn anything faster, FAST, at our event, and you'll get the most out of it. And it would be absolutely unforgettable. I know a lot of you already follow me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at Jim Quick, KWIK. You could go there to keep inspired every single day. Follow the winning edge. Follow all the different speakers, because our goal is our success really is comes from you, right? Your success is our success, and that's why you learn. You learn to earn to return, right? You learn to earn and to return. And that's what this event's all about teaching you the skills and strategies, techniques and tools that we should have learned back in school, that no one around the world really was taught back in traditional education. But you're getting this from people who have not just researched it, have done it for themselves and are sharing it with you, so you don't have to spend the years upon years and all that monies and everything to be able to do that, because we did the work for you. And I cannot wait to meet you, to learn from you, and to share with you. So it's going to be absolutely outstanding.
Jim Quick, thank you so much, my brother. We really appreciate and value your time. We're going to go through an absolute metamorphosis. I cannot wait. When it comes to memory retention, that is something that I'm lacking, especially with remembering people's names. So I'll book my ticket for the front row. I can't wait to meet you. I know we're going to get incredible value. I want to thank you so much for being on this call. We know you're a busy guy, and we have diarized the 24th of August. We won't miss it for the world. Thank you so much for the value added to tonight.
Amazing. Thank you, everybody. I wish your days between now and then and forever be full of lots of life, lots of love, lots of laughter, and always lots of learning. Take care.